Slayer! Hi, I'm Tom, and in this video I'll be answering that one Warhammer lore question that's been pondering us for years. What do Space Marines wear to the beach? A few months ago, myself and one of my best friends Simon were discussing all of the Games Workshop products that they sell, other than Warhammer. They sell books, computer games, clothes, cuddly toys, mugs, artwork, and now even forged weapons for LARP. But there's one bit of the market they're missing out on, and that is footwear. This conversation then descended into what footwear could they use as a product, and then even onto, do Space Marines go on holiday? Do they go to the beach? Do they relax? And if any of you know the actual answer, please let me know. I believe in the lore that Space Marines' entire lives are just filled with battle, death, and eternal service. But if they were to go to the beach, would they wear something like sandals, Crocs, tactical footwear? The conversation then developed into, will it Warhammer? And the genius that is Simon suggested why not use techniques and products from Warhammer and Wargaming to make some custom Crocs. What a fun idea. But which Space Marine chapter is closely associated with the beach or sand? Thousand Suns. Exactly. They're basically Egyptians, aren't they? So. Also, to let you know, I'm now doing YouTube full time. So please consider supporting me on Patreon, where you get access to my Discord server to see behind the scenes. And please consider using my affiliate links below for Element Games so you get cheaper Warhammer. Please leave me a comment, I'll reply to all of them. Let me know in the comments if you've done similar or what would you do different. This isn't my normal content either. I love doing army painting, grimdark painting, kitbashing, bit of everything really. This is what I call a palette cleanser, just for fun. Now I'll show you how I did it. So first thing first, I got some blue Crocs because I did plan ahead that if any of the paint chipped off, it would still match the paint scheme. I always did a bloke thing here and tried to remove the tag without using scissors. But yeah, so I've picked the closest blue that was available to me. And then first thing I did was use some acetone to remove any remaining residue on the outside of the Crocs from when they were created. So I had to get an old rag and dip it in acetone and wipe every single surface. The Croc has been cleaned. This is to make sure the paint adheres to it properly. But what we're going to do is add a layer of varnish to give it something to paint to bind to. So what I'm going to do is stuff this with a bin bag. When your foot is in it, the paint doesn't rub off on your feet. That'll pick. I'm going to use some matte varnish. Silly dog. This is going to make the texture rough. Dog joke. So before starting this project, I watched loads of video guides on YouTube of people who'd made custom Crocs. I don't know if the ones that were available in Europe are different to the ones in America, so a few of the videos I watched American, but this did not work. So it did not work at all. The varnish bunched up and was like peeling off the Crocs, and I had to clean them all with acetone again to remove all of the varnish. Thought I'd leave that in there just to show you guys, so don't do that. The videos I watched, they used a primer over the top. I tried that as well. Yeah, you'll see later in the video, that's not the only problem I had. So in some of the guides I watched, they use sandpaper to smooth down the surface of the Crocs. This is to help the paint adhere to it, apparently. I rubbed them all with a 100 grit sandpaper, used a brush to dust them, and then wiped them again with acetone. I then used lead belcher as a base, so this is my primer. So I sprayed both the Crocs with lead belcher to begin with, and then I went over them with Retributor armor, which is the gold spray from Citadel. As you know, Thousand Suns love a bit of gold. So this is what they look like when they were sprayed and it was dry. So you can see here there's some patches as well, but it is quite tough. It's not flaking off on the flat surfaces. I then got this masking tape from a model shop. I'm going to do the stripe panels that the Thousand Sons have on their armour. The first piece I just laid at where I wanted, and then I used some scrap pieces to mark out the correct width for them to match. Put that scrap piece down, laid another piece, and did this all the way along the croc until I got some stripes. There you go, that's all masked off. So the two paints I used were Lothern Blue and Uriel Yellow. Lothern Blue is it's a lovely light blue, pastel blue. I'm going to add some wash to this later to darken it down. Boop. And that's it all painted up. And here's the peel. Oh, so nice to watch. And you can see it's not pulling the gold paint off either. So again, following these guides, I'm like, this is going to work. It's going to work. Then did some Uriel Yellow strips. Obviously trying to keep as neat as I can in the lines. I had to do 3 or 4 layers of yellow because it was obviously quite transparent. Boop. There you go, that's the yellow applied. You can see here I've gone over some of the edges, but that can easily be touched up. And then these are like long bristled brushes, like a panel liner. So I bought these to do stripes. I tell you what they would be really good for, would be the stripes on Tyrannid carapace. So yeah, I'm using these to sort of line the stripes so they're more obvious and look neater. And there you go, just dragging it in a straight line. Boop. And there you go, that's the lines on. And then I fixed any mistakes I made. Went on with Reikland Flesh Shade along the black lines to sort of add some depth to them, make them sort of look a bit 3D. And also it makes it look a bit more weathered and real, less like a Simpsons drawing. So you can see here, yeah, I've just followed along the lines best I could, and then I neatened the blue up through the airbrush as well. But yeah, there you go, it's sort of weathered. I think they look pretty good. And then I was like, well, I'll print some gibbets. So I found these STL files on the internet, some gibbet creation things. This is like a Thousand Sons icon. Sprayed them up gold, put a bit of wash on them, and then like pinned them to the gibbet attachments. Just a bit of super glue and a bit of wire. And this was all going according to plan. And I was like, this is going to work. And then I tried to attach a gibbet to one of the holes, and all of the paint started cracking. You see here, any flecks in the paint, and it's just going to start coming off. Again, I watched guides, and they did this test afterwards, and it didn't happen. So maybe the guides were lying. I don't know. But so it doesn't work. I don't know what's gone wrong here. I watched 3 guides on YouTube on how to paint Crocs, some American people that I watched. So maybe the material that they use that we're allowed to buy in the UK is different. I don't know, but you can't even wear them. If anyone's got any tips on different products I could have used to make them less fragile, please let me know. But it was fun anyway, that's all that matters. Thank you to my current Patreon supporters, you're absolute legends. I've got some Chaos Knight kit bashing videos coming, my Sisters of Battle army, some kit bashed Ogryns, loads and loads and loads of stuff. So please subscribe. Thank you, bye.